The Winnipeg Jets have stripped Blake Wheeler of his captaincy. Rick Bowness, Coach Bones, informed Wheeler, the media, and all Winnipeg fans today that Blake Wheeler is no longer the captain of the Winnipeg Jets, and the entire leadership core is under review. Changes abound, new direction incoming, new coach, new system, new leaders. So why do we think that happened? Here's why. Since 1972, no NHL team without a named captain has won the Stanley Cup. Unfortunately, Winnipeg fans, let that one sink in, and I do not think this is a matter of small sample size because there are very few teams without a captain year to year in the NHL. No, I think this is because teams who don't have captains are signaling that they are in transition. They are either rebuilding or going in a brand new direction and about to rebuild. And I think that is what this change signals for the Winnipeg Jets. I think this might mark the beginning of a long season for Winnipeg fans. After some of the longest for Winnipeg fans, it feels like forever since they ended up in the conference finals, losing to the Vegas Golden Knights. It's unfortunately been either a lateral or downward trajectory for the Jets, but this is a necessary step that the team needed to make in order to improve and move forward. The first thing we have to address is why Blake Wheeler ended up with the C in the first place. Winnipeg fans will be very well versed in this from the city of Winnipeg. If you're outside the city of Winnipeg, you may or may not know this. And if you're just a hot garbage sports fan, you may not know this as well. When Andrew Ladd was the captain of the Winnipeg Jets over here, and he ended up leaving, Blake Wheeler was announced as the next captain and his successor. But it was not all roses and sunshine for Wheeler. Wheeler had a tough entrance into the NHL. He had an attitude problem, allegedly. He had a work ethic problem, allegedly. And his play did not translate into the dominant play we have seen from Wheeler in the last 6 or 7 years of his career. There was even an article from Winnipeg reporter Gary Lawless blasting Wheeler, an absolute front page cover expose talking about the work ethic and type of player Blake Wheeler was on the ice. This was really hard to read. Gary Lawless was not the most popular man in Winnipeg for writing this one, but he spoke the truth when it came out. Wheeler actually points to this moment himself as one of the turning points where he looked in the mirror, his words not mine, and decided he wanted to be a different type of player for this team and win a Stanley Cup. And then we saw nothing but greatness out of number 26. We saw one of the fastest, hardest working, best attitudes we have seen on ice amongst the NHL in quite some time, and it was a rags to riches story for Blake Wheeler in this team. He ended up carrying the team to the conference finals, and everything looked like it was ready to go in Jetsland. But after that conference finals run, disaster struck. There was fighting within the team. Where there's smoke, there's fire. There was rumors abound. Everything from personal off-ice issues to players not liking each other to disdain to the coach to a divided dressing room, one half led by Blake Wheeler and one half led by Dustin Byfuglien. All of these pieces are speculation because we know hockey players are very good at keeping these things tight and within their own group. However, you'd be silly, in my opinion, to take face value and media reports as gospel because players defended for many years here in Winnipeg that it wasn't the case. The locker room was together. This was a team that was close-knit, and this was a team that was in it to win it as each other. But as the reports continued to mount up, Dustin Byfuglien's departure out of nowhere, one of the reasons cited was medical and health reasons and how the club handled it. Another reason was the fact that he didn't like the divided locker room, and it was Team Buff versus Team Wheeler. Remember, Byfuglien, a very popular Winnipeg player and NHL player, wore an A for Winnipeg at the time. There was controversy surrounding Mark Scheifele and Adam Lowry. That was put to bed after as nothing but rumors and speculation. Pierre-Luc Dubois most recently not wanting to sign in Winnipeg, citing personal reasons or wanting to play out the season. We all know about the fact that he was looking for a trade to Montreal and then apparently put that rumor to bed, saying the media blew it up. We all know that Mark Scheifele was supposed to be traded this year, according to the rumor mill as well. Then he gave a great interview a couple weeks ago with Sarah Oleski where he put that rumor to bed. But here's the thing. When you keep having to put rumors to bed, they may not all be true, but parts of it are. I've been in enough hockey locker rooms as both a coach and a player to know that when some of this comes out, it's very hard to keep a lid on it. So is it all true in the way it was written in the media? Likely not. But is there a problem in the Winnipeg Jets locker room? Yes, and there has been. That is my opinion on this, and I've seen enough proof to believe that there was. And I think this is the final nail in the coffin explaining that to us. You do not strip a captain just to make a change. You strip a captain because the captain has distinct responsibilities that some fans, although maybe super fans of the NHL, may not have been in locker rooms or professional locker rooms before understanding the importance of the C. Everybody understands that it's a big deal, but nobody can really pinpoint to why unless you've worn it, and they really only do 3 jobs. They're the bridge for the media, okay? That's a transactional job. You can give that to anybody, but it's usually the captain's duty. They are the conduit between the players and the coaching staff, and they are an extension of the coaching staff. The culture that the coaching staff wants to bring gets relayed to the players from the captain, or the captain's attitude, work ethic, integrity, personality, and on-ice performance, most importantly, defines the culture of a team, and a coach selects that captain to tell everybody that is the way we want to go. The third job of the captain is to make sure that he has the ear of the players. He is the player that can help the young players be mentored into the superstars that they need to be. He is the guy that has the respect of the locker room to tell players when they need to shape up and improve their play, but he's also the guy that pumps up the team and takes the burdens of losses on his shoulders. Captains, everybody wants to be one in life. Ask yourself right now, do you want to be a leader in your job, in your life, in your friend group? The answer is almost unequivocally yes. But you know what? The reality is most people say yes, but a very few amount of people get to become that leader. And when you become that leader, you realize one hard truth. Every time there is victory, it is not yours. It is ours and it is theirs. And every time there is a loss, it is yours and yours alone, even in a team environment. And that takes a very mentally strong person to deal with. When there are losses, when there are problems, they will chip away at you as both a person, an individual, and a leader. And that is very difficult for most people in this world to deal with. And Blake Wheeler confirmed that today by saying that he was relieved to have the burden removed. He was shocked. He was hurt by it. It is not easy to deal with, so it's not sunshine and rainbows. But the positive that he did see is that he can get back to playing hockey and just being a player on the team. That goes to show the difficulty it is to be a captain in a small Canadian city in any professional sport. But that's why they get paid, isn't it? We all want to be there, but remember, the grass is greenest where you water it, not on the other side. So is this a big deal? Is this something that is going to change the direction of the Jets? Yes, but it's not as big of a deal as you may think. No matter what, these men are going to establish who their own leader is, regardless of who wears the C. But the removal of the C gives a window or an excuse or a reason for another player to take a shot at stepping up to lead the room. We as fans, when we see it, go, it's about time someone else leads the room. It doesn't matter what the coach says. It doesn't matter what you say. It only matters what those 20 other players in the locker room say. You can put a C on somebody, but if it isn't recognized by the team, then you know what? It doesn't matter. And that is why they're likely not adding another C. They're going to add a bunch of A's and try to lead by committee. This gives you the opportunity for some of your younger or newer players to step up over the next year and assume that leadership role going forward, because they have to prove that they can get the confidence of the coaching staff and the confidence of the room. So will it change tomorrow? No. People are going to look up to Blake Wheeler as a leader for this team. Some may even feel sorry for them. Others may be silently applauding this move, but regardless, he is still going to have a large voice in this room, and it doesn't mean a lot is going to change just because a letter changes. But it does open it up for some younger players to move in and maybe take those reins this year going forward. Now, do I think this was Bones's, Rick Bowness, the coach's decision? I actually don't. Even though he's wearing this and saying it's his decision, I do believe he was confirmed with him whether or not he wanted to do it, but he is an interim coach, not in the sense that he doesn't have an interim title. He's an interim coach in the sense that he'll be here for 1 or 2 years as a transitionary period for the Jets. So he gets to wear that L or that difficult conversation on his sleeve. He's a man that's been around for some time. He's got the confidence. He knows how to deliver the message. He delivers it. He owns it. But I do believe this message came from management, and I believe this was predetermined even before the hiring of a head coach. How do I know that? You know, I don't go into a ton of rumors and speculations on this channel. I keep it real and I let the dirt sheets do that. But you know what? I'm a good Winnipegger. I have a lot of great friends in this city, and I have my ear to the ground a lot, and I have my ear to the ground, and I'm very close with enough people in the organization to know when rumors are possibly very true. But I don't cite names, I won't call them out, and I don't like to come on this channel and tell you all these things because sometimes they happen, but day-to-day things change. Well, guess what? I have known now for at least 2 months that there have been other players who have been offered contracts with Winnipeg and offered the C. They didn't come here. Spoiler alert. It all dates back to the time they were looking for Barry Trotz, and that looked like it was going to be a done deal, and then it went sideways. Winnipeg has some real things to do here right now. We all know. Go ahead and take a look at the seat sales for opening night against the New York freaking Rangers, one of the most exciting teams, and you only get 1 game for it in Winnipeg. There are still thousands of seats left available in the smallest arena in Winnipeg, and I can hear it right now in the comment section. This is why the team's going to leave, because the fans won't support it. Look, do not let small market crap like that hold you hostage. You deserve an on-ice product that makes sense, and the truth is here in Winnipeg, I've seen games all over this country and in the United States. The only entertaining factor about the Jets is the Jets on-ice play. They don't provide you with any real forms of entertainment like other arenas do, or experiences like other arenas do that allow you to have a fun vibe in the arena for the hundreds, if not thousands of dollars you are spending to go to the Jets game. If the Jets are doing bad, it's a bummer night. I have been to a lot of other cities where the home team loses and everybody still has a really good time. The Jets and Winnipeg, unfortunately, tried to portray, in my opinion, as a former season ticket holder for 6 years with this team, an air of professionalism and confidence that really isn't the heart and soul of Winnipeg. Winnipeg is a blue-collar town. It's a fun town. It's a town where people like to blow off a little bit of steam in healthy ways, and it's a town where we take our hockey and everything seriously, and it's a great escape for all of us. It's the best people in the world here in Winnipeg. Shout out to all of you, no matter where you're from, in Manitoba as well. I can't forget about the surrounding areas. Sorry, Winnipegger. Always just assume everyone lives in the heart. Regardless, there is a way about us here in Manitoba, and sometimes I don't think the Jets organization actually captures that, which is ironic because our owner is also from Winnipeg. Digressing, back to the captaincy. So it's been stripped. What's next? They have to pick leaders. We know Morrissey and Scheifele were the other A's for Winnipeg. They have not been told or confirmed that they will be A's again this year. So there's 2 directions he can go. He can go with 3 A's or he can go with 6 A's. You can go anything in between, but it'd be really weird if he went for 4 or 5. I think he's likely going to go 6, but let's stick with the 2 scenarios of 3 and 6, shall we? I think if you're going to go 3 A's, Scheifele and Morrissey are probably coming back. That's a bit of a bummer, not because I don't like Scheifele and Morrissey, but because you got to trade them all or change them all. I shouldn't say trade, change all of those letters if you want to try changing the culture. Scheifele and Morrissey have studied under Wheeler for a long enough time that I don't think their leadership styles are going to be much different, especially if the room was divided. Then you take a look at the other side of the room. You got to give them a voice as well through another A or letter. Will Blake Wheeler get a letter on his jersey? I'm 50-50. Personally, I would leave it off and just let bygones be bygones and move that A around, but there's still a 50% chance Wheeler gets an A. So they could go Wheeler, Scheifele, and Morrissey. They could also go Scheifele, Morrissey, and another player. Who's that third player? Most likely it's going to be Kyle Connor. I don't think Pierre-Luc Dubois is getting an A. He doesn't want to be in Winnipeg. I don't see why you would put it on him other than trying to keep him in Winnipeg, but you never know. Again, things are day to day when it comes to people's emotions, decisions, and what they want to do. So Scheifele, Wheeler, Connor are your likely 3 candidates for it. Now, if you're going to go ahead and add 6, you got to put Adam Lowry in that mix as well too. Big heart and soul guy. Then you got to go ahead and look at a guy like Nick Ehlers or even Brendan Dillon. If I'm thinking 6, that's probably the 6 that I'm thinking. Who would Coach Ryan D end up picking? There's who I think will happen and who I want to happen. Now remember, I'm not in the room, you're not in the room. We don't know the dynamic of this room, but it's very simple. I would go Lowry. I would go Ehlers because you do have to have top line players. You guys can't just go all the way back to the 4th line and get your favorite hard worker and put letters on them because they do need to be on the ice in order to talk to the officials. So I think you got Lowry. I think you got Ehlers. You're probably going to leave Josh Morrissey, in my opinion. I'm not a huge Morrissey fan as a leader. Why? The on-ice behavior I see between Morrissey and Scheifele goes back and forth. When they're on, they're on. When they're having a good day, they're having a great day. Their attitude's phenomenal. They're caring. But what I love and hate about Josh Morrissey is I love his talent. I hate his positioning and the fact that he likes to run around a lot. He's one of, if not the best skaters in the NHL. He's beautiful to watch. He's hyper skilled. He's hyper talented, but sometimes his emotions get the better of him and it costs goals for Winnipeg. You got to lead by example. You got to do all the things right. And what Winnipeg needs to start doing right is playing defense. So I've got Nick Ehlers because, well, he's Nick Ehlers. He does everything for the Winnipeg Jets. I really think he is a heart and soul guy when it comes to leading on ice, or at least leading by example in terms of what you want a player to do. I think Adam Lowry is going to get one because he's been in the room long enough. He probably has the confidence of a lot of people in that room. I think Josh Morrissey gets it because he's likely, you got to give it to a D, and I don't see them giving it to Brendan Dillon over Josh Morrissey, so Morrissey can stay. After that, I don't know. I'd probably just go with those 3 if I'm being honest. I don't think I would flip to the other ones, but the likely outcome is going to be Scheifele, Morrissey, and an additional one, which is probably Kyle Connor or maybe Adam Lowry. That's my take for it. But you know what? Instead of speculating about it, let's just wait and see who the coach anoints. Now, finally, where does this leave the Winnipeg Jets for this year? Well, in a very tough Central Division. Let's be honest here, Jets fans. You've got the Colorado Avalanche, who, yes, took a bit of a hit on players, but are likely your number 1 team. You've got an up-and-coming Minnesota Wild team that is very difficult and tough to beat. The Nashville Predators with UC Saros coming back. They were a playoff team last year. They got bounced quick, but when you don't have your elite goalie, that's tough. They kept the band together with Philip Forsberg. They're a dangerous little team, so you have them in there as well. You have the Dallas Stars, who are growing. Rick Bowness's old team. When you look at Robertson, Hintz, Pavelski, and Ottinger, this is a team along with Miro Heiskanen and that amazing D-core that could take a big step forward this year. And then you still have the St. Louis Blues. Look, I know we can run down all the talent on the Winnipeg Jets, but when I look at those teams, I think the Jets are in real deep. I'm looking at a 5th, 6th place finish for the Jets this year, unless they find a way to turn something around. Are they talented? Yes, but every NHL team is talented, and you know I crap on the Yotes all the time, and even they have a little bit of talent, just a little bit on their team, but I do think there are teams in front of Winnipeg this year. Does that mean they'll miss the playoffs? Absolutely not. Winnipeg is a very interesting team with an elite goaltender, and when you have an elite goaltender, you can always do amazing things. So it's not a done deal that they'll end up outside of the playoff spot, but I think we're in for a transitionary year. I think we're in for a year where we're going to see some trades at the deadline for draft picks. I think we're going to hopefully, fingers crossed, start to see some of our young guys get in there. Cole Perfetti, Chaz Lucius, maybe Brad Lambert, or any of our other first-round picks like Rutger McGroarty. I got to get used to saying that one, but the core 4 of Lambert, McGroarty, Lucius, and Perfetti, the young guys carrying, maybe we'll get a couple of them in the lineup, but maybe not. We'll see what they end up doing. You let me know down below, Winnipeg fans. It's been awesome having you here. Thanks for being here, and we'll catch you in the next video.